Okay, so there's a lot of things on this app that will literally just waste your time messing with, so I'm going to show you how to use it to effectively track your macros the easiest way possible without spending 4 hours a day on it. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how to track your macros the easy way, the simplest way, the only way. Just kidding. There's actually a few ways that you can track your macros, but the method that I'm going to teach you today is one that I have found to be the easiest and the least time consuming. If you're still confused about the difference between calories and macros, I highly recommend that you check out this video sooner rather than later. It'll definitely clear things up for you before you start tracking your food. I'll also link that in the description below if you want to check it out afterwards. With all that being said, let's get into it. So there's a couple of tools that you need in order to make macro tracking an easy and simple process. Number one, a macro tracking app. Now, I personally use MyFitnessPal, and I'm actually going to show you guys step by step later in the video how to use that app. But there's a ton of other apps out there that you can download and use if you want. Number two, you also need a food scale. You can't just eyeball your measurements when it comes to food. You're going to need to actually weigh out your portions so it's accurate when you put it into whatever macro tracking app that you're using. Now, in some cases, you can just scan the barcode of the food if it's something that's already pre-portioned, which we'll go over later. But majority of the time, you're going to have to crank this bad boy out and do a little 2+2. Don't be lazy, weigh your food. My first food scale was actually one of the ones with a little twisty knob that you had to zero out manually each time. You had to get in really close just to even see, especially if you was weighing in grams. But now I have upgraded, and this little digital one makes my life so much easier. You literally just click a button and it zeroes everything out for you. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below for this one if you're in need of a scale or if yours just sucks. You can go snag this one. I think it's less than $20, so go check that out. Moving on. Now that we know what you need to be tracking your macros, if you haven't already downloaded MyFitnessPal, go ahead and do so really quick because I'm about to show you step by step how to easily track those max. I should trademark that. Track those max. Now, when you first make an account, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions about your goals and all that good stuff, and it does this in order to generate a calorie goal for you, but sadly, it's not very accurate. So don't stress too much about what you put on this section, just kind of skim through it. Now, once you get through all of that, you should be looking at the home page of the app. Okay, so there's a lot of things on this app that will literally just waste your time messing with, so I'm going to show you how to use it to effectively track your macros the easiest way possible without spending 4 hours a day on it. Okay, if you're on the home page, what you're going to want to do next is go to Diary. This is where you will actually input your food each day. So there's two ways that you can get there. You can either click Diary in the bottom left-hand corner, or you can click anywhere in the white space at the top of your screen under Calories Remaining. Either way will pull it up and it's fine. So you can scroll down and you can see there's a category for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, exercise, and water. I don't really ever track my water, nor do I do my exercise. I wouldn't worry too much about tracking your water unless you're really bad at staying hydrated each day. As far as exercise goes, again, there's not really going to be a way that you're going to be able to accurately track that either, so I wouldn't worry about that. So your diary may look slightly different than mine because I've edited my meal names, which you can also easily do if you want to. All you have to do is go to More in the bottom right-hand corner, scroll down to Settings, choose Diary Settings, click Customize Meal Names, and here you can easily change the names of your meals. This can come in handy if you want to change a couple of your meal names to like a pre-workout meal or a post-workout meal or something like that. All right, back to the diary. So once you're here, in order to add a food into your diary, all you have to do is just simply click Add Food under whichever heading that you want to put your food in. Once you do that, this page will pop up. Now here you have a few different ways that you can actually add your food in for the day. So on my screen, you'll notice I have a history tab. So once you start using MyFitnessPal, you'll generate a food history where you can easily add foods that you've ate recently. But if you just now downloaded the app and started using it, then you probably won't have this yet. Aside from history, we have the search bar, we have the scan meal tab, and we have the scan barcode tab. Majority of the time, you're going to want to use the scan barcode tab. This will be the quickest and easiest way that you're going to be able to scan a food and add it into your diary. To add a food using the Scan Barcode tab, just simply click Scan Barcode, find the barcode on the food that you're looking to scan, line it up with your camera, and voila, it should automatically pull up. Whenever you first come to this page, it's going to show you the amount of calories that the food has on the left-hand side, and then it's going to break the macros down on the right-hand side. So you can see this protein shake has 130 calories, 6 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fat, and 24 grams of protein. Now all you have to do is just simply check and make sure that your serving size is accurate, click the check mark, and it's added into your diary. You don't necessarily have to add every single food in the correct category. For instance, if I ate this protein shake for breakfast and I put it under dinner, it's not going to penalize you. It's all going to count the same. Those are just there to kind of help you keep track of when you're eating, what you're eating. Now, in some cases, you may not have a barcode to scan, or you may have a barcode and it just doesn't function properly. In that case, you would want to use the search bar at the top. So one case where you may not have a barcode might be if you go out and get something to eat at a fast food restaurant. So let's say I went out and got something from Chick-fil-A. I'm just going to simply type in what I got from Chick-fil-A. So let's say I got a Chick-fil-A sandwich. I'm going to click search, and it's going to pull up a few different Chick-fil-A sandwiches. You'll notice that most of these are 440 calories. This one's 430. So they're all pretty similar. Now, the reason there's so many entries is from MyFitnessPal users just adding this in over the years. So in order to be as accurate as possible, what you're going to want to do is go to the restaurant that you ate at, go find their nutrition section, look up the food that you ate, and make sure that the calories on their menu is actually matching the calories that you're putting into MyFitnessPal. Now, sometimes the macros may not match up perfectly, or the calories may be 10 or 20 calories off, and that's fine. That's just kind of one of the drawbacks of eating out. So just pick whichever one that you can find that's the closest. Sometimes you're just not going to be able to be 100%, but sometimes you can. Okay, so let's talk about serving sizes and number of servings. Now, when you initially add a new food into MyFitnessPal, it assumes that you're just eating one serving of that food. But let's say you just decide to eat half of the food that you just added. For example, let's say you added a protein shake, but instead of drinking the whole thing, you just only drank half of it. So in that case, you would just simply go to number of servings, change that from a 1 to half, just click anywhere out of that, and then click the check mark. And now it's a half a serving instead of a whole serving. Okay, so that's how you can easily add your foods into MyFitnessPal. But let's say for some reason you may have added a food on accident. In order to take that off, all you have to do is just simply swipe left on whatever food that you added that doesn't need to be there, and then click delete. And it's gone. So if you look at the top of your screen, you'll notice there's a section labeled calories remaining. And that is there whether you're on your diary page or on the home page. So within this section on the far left, you'll see your daily calorie goal. And then you'll see the amount of calories that you've already eaten up to this point. And then you will see on the far right the amount of calories that you have left to eat. Now, at any point in time, you can quickly look at the green highlighted number on the far right, and it will tell you how many calories you have left to eat for the day. Now, this is great for checking your overall calories, but we're also trying to pay attention to our macros. So in order to see how many macros you've eaten at any given point, all you have to do is simply click in any of the white area under calories remaining. Now, once you do that, make sure you're on the nutrients tab in the middle of the screen. Now you'll notice there's quite a few nutrients that's listed on here, but what you're going to want to pay attention to is just your protein, carbohydrates, and fat. You'll also notice under fat, there's a few subcategories: saturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, and monounsaturated fat. If you're eating a healthy, balanced diet, you don't really have to pay very much attention to those. All you're going to want to pay attention to is the total fat. So at the top of these nutrients, there's 3 columns that you need to pay attention to. You have a total column, a goal column, and a left column. The total column tells you how many grams of each nutrient that you've eaten up to this point. The goal column tells you your daily goal in grams of each nutrient. And the left column tells you how many grams of that nutrient that you have left to eat that day to reach your daily goal for that nutrient. Now, if you're serious about getting results, you need to be checking this page pretty frequently throughout the day to ensure that you're on track to reach your macro goals for that day. The last thing you want to do is wait until it's 2 hours before your bedtime and you check and see you have 2,000 calories left to eat and you still have 100 grams of protein to eat. At that point, you would almost have to try to force feed yourself, and not only is that unhealthy physically, but after a few times doing that, you're just going to get burnt out mentally and want to give up. Don't wait until the last minute. Check this pretty often and try to spread your meals out evenly throughout the day so that you can eat comfortably. Okay, lastly, let's check and see how we can change our calorie and macro goals. In order to do this, just click More in the bottom right hand corner. Scroll until you find the Goals tab. Find where it says Nutrition Goals, and under that you're going to see Calorie, Carbs, Protein, and Fat Goals. You're going to choose that option. Now here you can see your current calorie goal as well as your current macro goals. Now to edit your macros, you're going to have to edit your calories first. To do this, just find the calorie section and click that blue highlighted calorie number. And here you can enter whatever new calories you would like for your calorie goal to be. Click the check mark. That's going to save. Now, in order to adjust your macros, you're just going to have to click on any one of the blue highlighted percentages by any one of the macros. So here you can pick and choose what percentage each macro would take up from your total calories. You'll notice whenever you change the percentage, the grams at the top under each macro will also change. Now, whatever percentages you decide to go with, it has to equal 100 or it won't save. So you're probably wondering, what percentage of macros should I be eating? Now you can play around with this one and base it off of your food preferences. Some people are going to enjoy eating more carbs, other people are going to enjoy eating more fats. Just know that each macro has its place and you definitely need a balance of each one. So don't go completely cutting out carbs or completely cutting out fats and just eating protein. You definitely need a little bit of each one of these. Now, I personally recommend that you keep your carbs between 40 and 50% of your calories. Your protein should be between 20 and 30%, and your fats should also fall between 20 and 30% of your daily calories. So again, you can play around with this. You can do a 50, 25, 25. You could do a 50, 30, 20. You could do a 40, 30, 30. Just kind of play around with that. And once you start using this and tracking your food, you'll get a pretty good idea of what you want your percentages to be. Okay, so this app obviously has a ton of more features that you can mess around with in your spare time. But as far as tracking your macros go, that's really all that you need to know. Again, make sure that you're not only hitting your calorie goals for the day, but you're also hitting your macros. And you can do that again by clicking anywhere in the white part under calories remaining. You can check and see how many grams of each macro that you've ate so far, what your daily goal is, and how many you need left to eat. Now, tracking your macros may seem a little tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. Definitely take advantage of the scan barcode feature. It's one of the quickest and easiest ways that you're going to be able to add food in here without wasting a ton of time. The more you use this app, the more you'll get comfortable using it, and eventually tracking your macros will just be like a mindless habit. All right, so now you officially know how to track your macros using MyFitnessPal. And if not, you might want to rewind me and watch this over. Now, if you're still needing some help with tracking your macros, I would definitely keep a lookout for my upcoming online course. This will be a self-paced online nutrition course for individuals wanting to build muscle and burn fat at the same time. You may have heard this process referred to as body recomposition. Now, if that sounds like something you're interested in, I'm going to leave a link in the description box down below where you can sign up for my waitlist so you will be the first to be notified when my course launches. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. It definitely helps my channel grow and allows me to keep creating content like this for you guys, so it is very much appreciated. If you have any questions, comment them down below and I will try to respond to as many as possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.